You're listening to Behind the Bulldogs, brought to you by Ferris State Athletics.
Off the left side, to the end zone! Touchdown, Bulldogs!
If I'm even having like a bad day on the course or something, I just look down at it and just feel like thankful that I'm able to be out there.
Making sure that we're like where our feet are and we're not thinking about outside distractions.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into another edition of Behind the Bulldogs. Brandon Worth, joined by Tatum Outlaw. As always, we have a great episode for you. Happy post-Thanksgiving for all those that were able to make your way home with friends and family, as well as hopefully eat some good turkey or ham or whatever your preference is. I know there's some turkey fans out there, but kind of a very interesting food that's kind of a hit or miss, it feels like sometimes.
I definitely agree, but it's good to be back. It was nice for everyone to like go home and see their families and stuff, because I know for some people that live farther, like myself, it was good to have a nice little break. And for the athletes that got to go home, I'm glad everyone got a little reset.
Absolutely. We'll get to the recap of things that happened over Thanksgiving as well as the week prior, and then we'll get you to the slate for a busy weekend on deck, thanks to the volleyball team, which we will start off with right away. GLIAC Championship. 3-0 sweep over Grand Valley State. I know that was a very hyped up game for you guys, but the road to get there was a little bit more difficult. Really, Purdue Northwest giving you guys everything you could handle in 3 sets. Tech going to 5, and then you'd cap it off with a dominant performance there against Lakers.
Yeah, Michigan Tech is a really good team, and I think people forget how competitive our conference is due to our success that we've had all season, but our conference is really, really competitive, and, everyone was playing their best game, because for some teams that, game would have determined their season. So I think we got the right amount of adversity heading into postseason and regionals, but I'm glad we got to end out on top.
For sure. Basketball, last night, Ethan Erickson was the man, the myth, the legend, getting the game winner against Lake State, dominant win for them. Women's also getting a dominant win there over Lake Superior State. Really just carrying the success over from Thanksgiving. And I think that's just going to show that this team, they're both ranked in the country, top 25, and there's a reason for it. They could be a team to be messed with. Hopefully not, and we hope to see them do some success, but they're going to have a lot of targets on their back going in the next couple weeks.
Totally, and I think the women's team, they fully just step on the gas pedal from the start to the end of the game, and then the men's team, they just clutch up right when they need to, and they're able to pull out a win regardless of the circumstances. So it was very different, but they're both very hardworking, competitive teams. So it's cool to see their season starting off so well.
For sure. Hockey against Augustana, 4-1 was the score on Saturday's game. We did get the win. I believe 5-2 was the final score in that game. The first game, I should say, on Friday night. So they get the split. They're going to be going to Northern Michigan after a Thanksgiving weekend break. So we hope to see them do well. As well as we have track coming up here this next week. Yay. That's very exciting. Indoors starting up here. Just a little holiday invite before the season kicks off, after we flip the calendars to 2025. And as well, football, getting the job done. Central Oklahoma was a good football team. And we just proved that we were better in dominant fashion. It looked like it was a blowout. Yes, it kind of was. But at the end of the day, Central Oklahoma actually played really well in that first half. Really, I should say, let me rephrase. First half, until maybe about 8 minutes left in the second quarter, where Cannon Gatzer shot out of a cannon.
On fire.
Literally up the middle on pretty much halfback dive 3 times, and was able to score some long touchdowns to really take this one and run away with it. Now it's just a dominant win overall for the Dogs on the gridiron.
I think you said it perfectly, especially in postseason. It's all the good teams, but it's who can be great within those moments. And I think our football team, yes, they did dominate, but the team they just played was also very good. They're just taking that next step to get these wins. So hopefully they keep that up and make it all the way.
Hopefully so. Big contest coming up this weekend. We'll get to that here after our interview. Many of you know already from the title who's coming on, and many of you clicked on it probably because you knew who was coming on. Colton Haynes, Dom Hall, the guys downstairs. They're just a bundle of joy wherever they go. The energy is through the roof. And you can see it with the teams. Especially Tatum, you're experiencing it. I've been down to experience it and wish I could experience it in a different facet as far as an athlete's perspective. But those guys do an amazing job, and they really have shown the success and continued success for Ferris State downstairs, especially. Obviously, we had Andrew on last year, and couldn't thank him enough for all that he's done. He was a great coach, strength coach for us. But these guys have really taken what he has really built as a foundation with a lot of the athletes and ran with it to improve them even more.
For sure. I think Haynes and Dom, they've really made an impact on every single athlete's life here within the short time that they've been here so far. So it's just cool to kind of hopefully see and hear how they got to where they are now and how they're liking it so far.
For sure. So without further ado, we'll send it to the interview room with Colton and Dom. Now joining us, a pair of special guests joining us, making their way from downstairs. Colton Haynes, Dom Hall. Guys, welcome to the podcast. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. First question. How are you guys bearing the elements right now? The snow is on the ground. Obviously, you guys coming from Georgia up to Big Rapids. How is it holding up so far? You got stuck in the driveway yet?
I bought my first shovel last week. I haven't seen snow more than 2 days in a row. So this is new for me, for sure.
Wow, okay. Dom, holding up so far?
Yeah, not as different. When I moved to Mississippi, I kind of was used to the elements of where I was, of the snow. So I'm from Virginia originally, so I never wasn't too bad. But coming back up here, getting used to that is a whole lot. It's a different beast compared to Mississippi, I'd say. So
Yeah, for sure.
I never driven in the snow, and last year Dom would have to pick me up, go to work. So it just doesn't. Yeah, so I was like, dude, I can't get to work. You gotta come get me. Dom was like, yeah, I'll be there. And 6 a.m, he whips in, fishtails in, honking the horn. Neighbors waking up, and we jumped in and rode to work. So
how fun is that? For
yeah,
sure.
it was fun.
Yeah, we're so glad that you guys are here with us here in Big Rapids. Welcome to Ferris State, formerly on the podcast. Obviously, you guys have been here for the last year. Just talk about what was the decision as far as going to Delta State. You guys were both down there, both together, and very unique, almost bromance style. You both decided to come up to Big Rapids together. Just talk about that story and what made the decision to come to Big Rapids.
Yeah, so long backstory. I'll kind of make it short. Delta State was my first job. I was a grad assistant. I got my master's at Arkansas Tech, and I started at Delta State as my first job. Honestly, God willing, like he gave me that job opportunity, and not really for the money, but it's all for the experience. And so started there. My first semester there, there was a grad assistant already there. He ended up leaving. He was upset that it was just a different kind of coaching style than we was used to. So he left. I started the first semester there, which was 3 years ago now. Started that, and I hired 2 guys off the rip. We posted the job online, and I got 2 hits, and I hired those first 2 guys. I had no clue. It was my first big time decision, and I didn't realize at the time, but your staff's what makes you as a coach. And so hired the guys. They didn't live up to expectations. It was tough, like letting go of people. And, I knew while I was letting them go, I had to make my next hire the best one. And so posted the job opportunity again. Dom applied, and, I just kind of tricked him into coming to Delta State is what I say. Because, Ferris State's nice. Everyone's, saying this and that about Ferris State, but Mississippi's a different animal. So I convinced Dom to come down and be a GA. It was I wouldn't say rough first couple of months, but it's hard, like becoming you're with each other every single day, and so outside of just being the strength coach, like you're hanging out, and so GA, you don't make a lot of money. It's very low paying, it's your first step into the doorway. So once Dom started, we were hanging out. He's a football guy, and, I love all sports, and I had experience at Arkansas Tech is where I started at, and had experience with all teams. And once I brought Dom in, we just kind of clicked together. And so he stayed around. He started adapting to everything that what I do and how, I thought was the right way how to do everything. And, once 2 years later, fast forward, got a job up, my wife was the head softball coach at Delta State. And it was, I think it was time for us to move on was the, best thing. And once we moved on, I applied to Delta State and a couple other colleges. I got into every interview, in-person interview. I got really deep in all of them. And, Ferris State's the one I feel most comfortable with. And it's because, they wanted to bend for me. I told them, I needed to bring GA with me. And, not only because of the relationship, because I knew this what the culture I wanted to build was. It's hard demanding a lot out of people, but when you have fun with them, you can build relationships with them. Like, it makes it so much easier. So I knew Dom was the perfect fit. He's going to be a great strength coach one day. And I'm just lucky he took the chance with me because, believe it or not, he's turned down a couple of job offers too. And so a lot of gamble to come up here because, being a small town boy from Mississippi, I would have never thought I was from, I'd be in Michigan. Like, who would have thought I'm seeing snow on the ground? Like,
Right.
Like, this is crazy.
For more than 2 days in a row.
Yeah. So, Dom can elaborate, but he's my right-hand man and he's earned every bit of it. So,
yeah. Sounds like it took a little bit to be able to go with Colton, a little convincing, Dom?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a lot of convincing. Like, I knew that coming up here was going to be a huge step in my career. I like to win. I mean, that's kind of like how I look at it. Like, I know it's about the athletes for sure, but this is a winning culture in all aspects, all sports, and that was huge for me. And the places that I talked to, I just didn't feel like was ready for that. And so, if I can be a part of something bigger than myself, I'll do it. So that's what started back in, January 6, 2022, when I'm 23, when I'm packing my stuff up in Virginia, driving 13 hours down to Mississippi, and then before summer break, get a phone call. Hey, you ready to do this thing? Let's go to Michigan, And I was like, let's do it. So that was huge. I think, like, for me, it's cool because it shows me, like, that he believes in me and, like, trusts me and stuff. That was big for me. And I was like, man, why not? Let's just do it. And so hit the ground running and, we're going right to the wheels fall off. So
yeah, for sure. So. And it sounds like everybody's glad to have you guys as well. Very, very well received so far.
Yeah, I think you two definitely work well as a team, and you make sure that you guys, give us the same energy that you two do as a team. I know that you want us to, like, start the lift as a team, finish as a team, and I think we're really lucky to have, like, strength and conditioning coaches that are passionate about what they do and really do care about, like, the best in every player. So could you just tell me about, like, what drives your guys' passion for where you are now, what got you into what you're doing now, and just kind of that process?
Yeah, so I played college football. I wasn't good. I was probably below average at best, but I worked hard for everything I had. And so once I got to college, I got hurt my first semester tore my labrum and rotator cuff and ended up having to miss out on the season. And so the guy that was there for me, my strength coach at the time, Coach Shoemaker, he was there for me and, pushed me. And I felt like a lot of love and care, and even out of my athletic trainers. So, not that the coaches didn't care, but the strength coach and the trainers were there for me. And so I started liking everything that happened behind the scenes, everything that was happening that, like, no one really thought about. And so, working back, my strength coach was there for me, the return to play protocol. So all that stuff was, like, awesome to be a part of. And, what I know now, like, it's just all love. And so once I, graduated, I got into PT school, actually. I was going to be a physical therapist. And, I thought I can always go back and go to, be a PT. And so I started off as a junior college assistant coach. I started Monday, and then that Wednesday, the head guy got fired. So I was the head strength coach within a couple of days.
Got thrown into it.
But, that's another story for another time. And, to answer your question, it's just like there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that, like, at the time you're just thinking, man, that's hard. Like, man, this is like, but there's so much opportunity that's out there to grab. And, if you don't take advantage of people that care the most about you, what are you doing? And so I just had a great, support staff everywhere I've been. It's always helped me up. And yeah.
What about you, Dom?
So I promise it's not like I'm copying him or anything.
We had the same injury.
Yeah.
So I actually tore my labrum as well. And it was going into my, like, true senior year of college. And so by that time, I'd already done an internship. I did two. But the one that was, like, in the most was at a little D2 school back home in Virginia. And I knew that I wanted to do that or possibly be an AT. I was still kind of stuck. I I went back to school. I was in training camp, labor tear, had surgery, whatever. And my strength coach, like I said, the same thing. Coach, Sam Rome, he, I asked him, I was like, man, like, I want to work out. Like, it's kind of weird. Like he said, like, you see, like, I wasn't the best ball player either, but you have people who care about you. Like, he's the support staff, And so that was huge for me. Like, I remember I wanted to, like, work out so bad, but I couldn't hold a bar. I couldn't do nothing. I was in a sling, and he put a belt with a chain on it, and he put, like, 445-pound plates. Figured it out. He put it on top of a box, and I did, like, 6x10 on squat.
Wow.
And I couldn't walk the next day. I hadn't lifted it like a month or whatever, but it's things like that, and that helped me. And then eventually I knew I wasn't going to play anymore, and I interned for him and built my resume up, and then that's how I kind of found the job at Upton State with Colton, and that's what's kind of helped me spiral up to where I'm at now, because I look at it like, these kids, like, it ain't always going to be like nice for them, it's tough, it's gritty, like you're in athletics, and if we can be there for them, that means the most to them, and I try to do that, and so that's why I looked into it with this. So that's what I wanted as a player, and so I want to do for these players as well. So
yeah, a lot of these guys and girls are hard-headed, but you got to realize, like, we were at that point too. Like, not that you want to give advice, but, like, you start building that camaraderie and everything and trust, and you look up and everyone's in the office with you talking. So, like, that means a lot to us. And again, I was doing the same thing when I was an athlete. So, it's all that's why you do it. It's not only for the relationship, but, like, the tough love. It's like you're teaching life lessons, and you want to be there for everybody. And then the goal is, like, to get everybody to the next level where they want to be. And then whenever you look up and volleyball's undefeated, number one in the region, football's doing the same thing. Like, and they look up and you're like, man, we're dominant. Like, that's what you live for. You know what I mean? Everyone's, I hit a PR, my, cross country. Like, everyone's, like, giving you good feedback, and that's, like, literally why you do it. That's why we're waking up at 4 a.m. and, get there and making sure it's all set up, and, like, we got to practice what we preach too. So, yeah.
Seems like you guys are in the weight room quite a bit. You said it, you're up at 4 a.m. to, like, get ready and spend majority of your days in that weight room. So what do you like to do besides lifting or helping others lift?
Oh,
because I know you guys like to lift in your free time too.
Yeah, so I get on the game, actually. So me and I should put with some guys on the basketball team. We got some Fortnite dubs last night.
Oh, there it is.
So I actually play, like, I'll play the game. I'll hang out with my wife. We do a lot. We'll go play pickleball. I play with all the athletes now. Me and my wife will go on walks. We'll go to Grand Rapids, which here in Big Rapids, that's the only 2 cities I've never been to. But
Yeah.
We go out and have date nights a lot. But I get just spending time with my wife, because she has an at-home or remote job. And so now that she just wants to get out of the house a lot, and I'm ready to get in the house. And she always goes. So it's always, like, something to do, But
For sure. Dom, how about you?
Oh, yeah. So pickleball, that's up there for sure.
It's the new phenom, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm not that good, but, like, I enjoy it. It's there's a love-hate relationship with that game for sure.
It's frustrating.
Very frustrating, But
me and Dom's only lost, like, twice, so out of probably 80 games.
It's because you haven't played me and Kaylee Mott yet.
Oh, here we go.
Hate to say it.
Yeah, we'll see.
There's one person in this complex I'm scared of, and that's Tony Anise.
Yeah, he's the king of pickleball, folks.
He's really good. But no, that I haven't been able to up here, but I like to hike and I fish, hunt, stuff like that. But honestly, I like to just hang out. Like, Thursday night we go to B-Dub, BOGO night. We do that. I'm pretty relaxed. I'm not gonna lie. I just, spare time. I like to go back home and just relax a little bit.
We're not excited.
Yeah,
Sometimes that's all you need.
You might see me at Myers getting some groceries or something. That's about it, So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You guys love music down in the weight room. I've noticed that over the last couple of months. If you're lifting by yourself, getting the lift in, obviously outside of the hobbies.
Oh boy.
What's the go-to playlist that you're bumping in the facility?
Ooh. So I got probably 5 different playlists.
Okay.
I could listen to some Green Day, some Young Boy.
Oh man.
So young boy.
Look at that.
Some AC/DC, Limp Biscuit.
Okay.
All over the place.
Hey.
My mind's just constantly racing, So
hey, different day's a different day,
So I like some house music sometimes, so just a mixture of everything. You hear the same thing 1,000 times, and so sometimes I just don't even wear AirPods or headphones. I just don't listen to music at all because you just hear the same thing, and so it's I don't know. It's hard to find that because you just hear that song 1,000 times, and you're like, okay, it's old eventually. But those are my top 4, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kentucky Love.
Kentucky Love.
Yeah. All right.
Love, yeah.
Is Kentucky Love on your list, Colton?
Yeah, I mean, when all the teams are lifting, I personally I'm the opposite. I do divorced dad rock. That's my.
Oh, okay.
And I'll do a podcast. I'll just listen to podcasts. So.
Oh, okay.
I'll do music every once in a while, but for the most part, I'm trying to. It's the only time I can be by myself and listen, and learn from different people. So I'll do podcasts like strength coach, like coaching podcasts, books, listen to stuff like that. So.
Okay.
I'm different.
Is there a go-to right now as far as a book or a podcast that you're looking up far?
I'm listening to, let's see, what's it called? Never Eat Alone. And so what it is about is networking, how you can rise up to the, just networking basically, and how you need to get to where you need to get to and things like that. But also I have a podcast I like to encourage other athletes to listen to. Delta State, there's this girl on the softball team, her name's Abby. She told me about the Hard 90 by Zach Sorson. And so what it is, the mental approach to everything. And it's a 2-minute podcast every day. And so you can listen to it on the way up. Zach was, he's the Washington Nationals, mental, back when Bryce Harper was there. He's at TCU. He's the mental coach, I guess you can say.
Oh, okay.
And his thing is it focuses on the 90% of the game that we only do 10% of. And so you can listen to it 2 minutes a day. He has so many podcasts. But, it's a great thing to listen to that kind of gets you going. There's different topics and you can kind of go through. But I feel the mental aspect is not really talked about a lot, but that's something that, needs to be talked about. But so that's a good podcast. If anybody's listening, the Hard 90 by Zach Sorson.
Yeah, shout out, shameless plug.
Yeah.
My coach listens to 8 million podcasts though, so maybe that's where I've heard some of it from.
Yeah,
it's good. It's like I said, 2 minutes, right to the chase. It's not bluffing or it's good.
Yeah.
Thanks for the recommendation. That's everyone's homework that's watching is to go listen to that podcast.
Yeah, post your favorite episode on our story.
Yeah.
While we get the live stream of you and Kaylee playing against these two in pickleball.
Yeah,
as well.
we got to live stream it.
For sure.
Don't worry about them.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Last question for you. We like to ask everybody that's been on the show. What's been your favorite thing? No, it's a shorter time, but from the time that you've been here, what's been the favorite thing about being here in Big Rapids and being a Ferris State Bulldog?
Go first.
They're nothing.
On campus, just the success every team's had. It's crazy to see the standard that every athlete holds himself to. It's new for me. And, I guess the success of everything is my favorite thing. I like, the hard times as an off season and, doing the lifting 4 times a week, whatever it might be. So that's fun to me, is watching that and watching see who can prevail and, get through all that kind of stuff. And then now looking back and relaxing and watching volleyball, football do their thing. And so that's fun. On campus, off campus, I would say eating out every Thursday night.
Hey,
we didn't have B-dubs in Mississippi or in Cleveland where we were. So we'll go out and, hang out and do stuff like that. So that's fun to do too.
For sure. Dom, how about you?
I'd say for me, it's just I feel like the coolest thing is all the coaches are really close.
Yes.
The whole athletics. And so that's very new to me. It's almost weird. People just walking around there's no bad blood. And I love that. Other schools you've been to, it's not like that. It's a lot of, I don't know how to say that. They don't want to see you succeed, right? And here there's a lot of love for sure, a lot of success. And that's why there is success, I think, because there's so much support from all the other teams, coaches tell teams to go to these games and this game. And I think that's huge. And I love that part. I think everybody's proud to be a Bulldog, and so that's huge for me. I love that. Outside of it, like he said, I've probably tried 10 different spots. Went to Zots, like my first weekend here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
so
Levi.
Yeah, like the kicker, Levi, shout out Levi. He was like,
The specialists know the food places
he
for
was
sure.
like, he's like, go to Zots. And he's like, actually, no, I'm going to take you to Zots. Honestly, I just been here for like, it was like my first day. And he was like, I was like, okay. And
Everyone took you in right away.
it was cool. And that's another thing is how welcome everybody was, because it's easy. I ain't trying to rant, but it's easy for, like, it could have been easy for them to be like, no, we're not into this. But like volleyball, football, all the teams we met in the summer, like they bought in. And now it's like, I'm not saying it's because of us or anything, but you just see like how bought in they are to everything. And like they buy into, practice, lift, school, and, champions. That's just how it is, right? And so that's huge for me. The buy-in here is huge. And so that's what I got.
Yeah, we'll say it is hard that we are thankful that everyone, like us as outsiders coming in and, great strength coach before us, like you had everybody just like willing to want to, be better and do all this other kind of stuff. So, we're so thankful for that because it could have gone the complete opposite way where, I don't know. It's just awesome that everybody, is willing to get better. And like Dom said, like you look up and everyone's doing so great. So it's awesome.
It's every sport now.
Every sport. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's cool. That's awesome for sure.
Yeah. Championship standard.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate your time and have fun downstairs because it looks like we got seasons extending here in the fall.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Go dog.
Big thanks to Colton and Dom for joining us. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Sorry with the little technical difficulties there, but we wanted to get you the material because it was great. Those guys were great. They've been great downstairs, and they really are some great personalities, great guys to meet, and I would encourage a lot of fans out there. You see them at a sporting event, tell them they're doing a good job because they really are doing so.
They're a great team, and they instill that teammate likeness into all the teams that they work with. And I think they just require discipline and hard work. And it's a challenge every day, but it's totally what we've needed. And I think they're just the best fit for us right now. So it was just cool to kind of hear their journey and what their thought process was coming into Ferris. So yeah.
For sure. Ferris State Sports Slate, before you guys get on your way, Thursday, volleyball and company, 4:30, right across the hall, Bulldog Arena. Gonna be fun. Gonna be fun. This is a team that you guys want. You've wanted since last year.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get them in the first round.
Yeah. I'm really excited for this game. We've all been, yes, we go one game at a time, but we've been looking forward to this time of the season all season long. So it's just really exciting that it's here. And we had a week off. And that's a lot for us when we usually have 2 to 3 games a week. So we're just excited to get back into like the swing of things and hopefully end out on top.
We hope so. And if you are so fortunate to win, Friday and Saturday would be the regional semifinal and final, respectively. I believe it'll be 7 o'clock if you guys win on Friday, and then 6 o'clock if you win on Saturday. So,
yes.
And if they win, I believe ticket sales will go on after the game is completed, and so you guys can scoop them up. There's not a lot of seats over across the hall, so make sure you get your tickets ahead of time.
Get there early, get there ahead of time, and come support. Bring a chair if you need to. But it's our last 3 home games of the season, so make sure you come out and support and watch us while you can.
For sure. Northern Michigan, that's where ice hockey will be on Friday. That is a 7:07 puck drop. And to confirm for Saturday, 6:07 puck drop there from the Berry Center, as well as on Saturday. Got a little tiny, semi-important football game. Just a little semi-important against the
Some would say
defending national champion, Harding. At Top Tiger Field, 1 o'clock. Be there, be square. That's going to be an electric factory of a football game, as well as women's and men's basketball. Fresh off of conference wins, will go to both on the road to Chicago to face Roosevelt there on Saturday. So, going to be a busy weekend in Bulldog Athletics. And as long as you survive this weekend, don't worry. You can have a breather until next weekend. Nothing going on in the week from Sunday till, I believe, Wednesday. And if you guys win, you guys would play next week, Thursday. But as Tia says,
if we're so fortunate.
And one game at a time.
1 game at a time.
1 point at a time.
One
Really.
point at a time.
Yes, exactly.
Everything one at a time.
Yes. Every single thing, one singular thing at a time in sequence.
Yes.
And that's the way that you guys win. We hope to see you do that this weekend. We hope all the Bulldogs win.
Yes.
And we hope you guys enjoy it. Big thanks for tuning into the show. Big thanks to Dazos Digital. And we adjourn for 7 days until we talk more Ferris State sports. It's going to be fun with some great guests as well.
Yes, show your support and stay warm.
Absolutely. Please stay warm.
Yeah.
Get hand warmers in your car. And if you don't have your ice scraper, get it now because it's going to get snowy in the next 24 hours. Big thanks for everybody. We'll see you next week right here on Behind the Bulldogs.